Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the Wealthy Women Lifestyle Podcast. I hope that you guys are doing well on this Monday evening. I hope you guys are doing well on this Monday evening. I'm checking all of the platforms to make sure we are actually physically live, and then we are going to get into two topics on tonight. Two topics on tonight. While I'm checking that and making sure is copacetic over there. I am the Nicole Johnson, founder of Wealthy Women Lifestyle, to define and achieve their goal of financial freedom so that they can begin to live life on their own terms. And so that is going to look different for everyone. And that is what I love about being on this journey is that we have women in our community who are in their 30s, 35, 40s, 45, 50, and some a little bit more seasoned. Okay. We're just going to leave it like that. Some that are a little bit more seasoned. We're going to leave it like that. Don't you go asking. And so all of their goals look different because their lives they're in a different place in a different season of life. Okay, so let's start with today's Monday motivational message. Early this morning, we talked about having financial accountability systems in place. Okay, it is a way that you track where your money is going, how much is going, and for people who are brand new with budgeting and tracking, I encourage you to have not only have a system in place, but to start with pencil and paper. Listen, these apps out here are great. We use this phone and device for everything. Um, but when you are starting out with something that's brand new, that's foreign, that you probably was having problems with in the first place, which is why you have not been doing it before now. I want you to have something a little bit more tangible, a notebook, something you have to intentionally sit down with and put your hands on. An app is great when you get better. Okay, an app is great when you get better, when you know how to set the alarms, when you know how to, when you understand that when that alarm goes off, I need to take care of this right now because resetting it may cause me to forget. Okay, so I want you guys to start with just traditional pencil and paper. So when my community members are starting with their budgeting, the first thing that they have to do is they have to they look at their budget every pay period without fail. Okay. And then we develop a system so that once we go from every pay period, then we can move to monthly. Once we go from monthly, then and everything lines up, it's consistent, then we can move to no longer than quarterly. Okay. But if something life happens and there's an emergency or something like that, then guess what? We start back over until the numbers start to look in place at all times. Okay. So it is important that you have a system in place. What kind of systems do I need, Nicole? I'm glad you asked. So for one, we need to know what you're spending on a regular basis. Part of your tracking system needs to be, now that the world has opened back up, people are actually going into the office more often. You need to be tracking what you're spending on a daily basis. Some people think that they know until they actually start looking at the numbers. And that means whether or not you start off with a bill tracker, with a daily tracker for 7 days, 10 days, or however many days you want, so that you can see where your money is going every day. Some people will, use one specific card so that they can sit down at the end of the day, look at all the transactions and jot it down on a piece of on a tracker form. Some people will look at their bank statements. Some people collect the receipts from the day. Whichever system you use, you got to be consistent with it. The reason that you are having problems in your money, and listen, let me be clear about this. Whether you are at minimum wage, whether you are in a low income situation, whether you are a mid-level salaried individual, and even my six-figure earner clients, community members, We all start at the same place. Some of us make progress faster and sooner than others, but some of us still have the same habits. No matter what the income is coming in, if the mindset has not shifted and how to handle our money, our problems are still the same. Okay. Our problems are still the same. So I want you to ensure tonight's lesson is about setting up financial accountability systems. Okay, so you can also use there are different apps out there, and I'm not going to suggest anyone because I am still a pencil and paper girl. Okay, I do like a good spreadsheet, don't get me wrong, and I do use a good spreadsheet, one that will allow me to start off with all of my expenses. I got my income at the top. I've got all of my expenses, and it's keeping a running total every time I update the amount that I spent. And then it will carry over into the next month so that I have a running total of what my power bill is for the year, what my gas bill is for the year, what my grocery budget, grocery bill is for the year. Okay. And then what my income is for the year. So from month to month, I can see, I can have an overall view of where my money is coming in from, right? And then the expenses that impact what's going out. So a spreadsheet is good. If you need something like that, feel free to reach out to me. Okay. I want you guys to know that you can always come right over into the Wealthy Women Lifestyle Facebook community. You can join us there. You search Wealthy Women Lifestyle, you'll end up in our community. There are lots of resources over there that you can take advantage of to help you on your journey. Not only are there actual documents and resources there, there's a wonderful community of people that are striving for the same goal. We're all striving towards the same goal. And I love it there because there is the motivation that you need, there's the encouragement that you need, there's the accountability that you need, but there's the teaching that you need. And the reason that the teaching is the most important part to me is because when I was sitting in your shoes, when I was struggling and needed help, there was nobody there to teach me. There was nobody there that would show me how. So I had to teach myself. And now that I am an expert in it, I have a responsibility. It's my personal journey and passion and mission to help others overcome the same challenges that I once had. Okay, so that is why I do what I do. So once you have a system in place, the goal is to consistently use it. So you're starting to track. So here's what, for a brand new person or a person who has been off track for some time and you need to get back on track. Either way, either of those two scenarios, if that describes you, here is what I want you to do. I first of all want you to decide what type of system you're going to use. Do you want a tracking sheet? Let me show you. So yep, I got papers right here. I got papers on it. Okay, so this is one my community members use. It's a 7-day expense tracker form. Okay, and it lists all the things that are outside of budgets, outside your budget, but it also has spots at the end of the bottom of the form that you can add additional categories in case they're not here. So it's food, the eating out food, the commissary food, the food from the cafeteria, the little sundry store, the mom and pop shop that you stop by. Anything outside of the regular budget is going to account for your tea, your soft drinks, your cigarettes, your alcohol, because I know that ain't a grocery budget. Yeah, I said it. Okay. Any other things that are not that are outside of the traditional budget. And when you do this, you don't make any changes. you stay on track with what you do. So that's why I hope that you only limit this to 7 days, because we just want to get a gauge. And the reason this is important is because once you have your numbers actually written on a budget form, right? Because you have more categories here, space for the amounts. This budget form is actually about 4 pages long. Um, so you got different categories here. You got different categories on page 2, and then you've got page 3 where you have some additional categories, all differently. I believe in your money being labeled. Okay, as you can tell, your money needs to be labeled so you know where it's going. All right, so these are, and then this is your congratulations is at the end. So you got 3 pages of different categories, but guess what? Even with these, they're not all encompassing. So your 7-day tracker form is going to pick up anything that's not here. Okay. I love this. This is what I used when I first got started. And it helps me stay on track. Want to know how you can get it? I'll definitely let you know. It's over in the community group. Pop right on in, the Wealthy Women Lifestyle community. All right. And so when you start putting your money together, what people end up doing is they have $400 or $500 budgeted over here, but then they're spending an additional $100 or $200 on food items here. So now that has to carry over to the main budget so that it can all be accounted for. They're not accounting for it. Okay. They're not accounting. My grocery budget is $400. Well, where the other $200 coming from? Because it's not in the budget. It is not accounted for in the budget, which is why I encourage you to start out with pen and paper before you start sitting down with apps on your phone. When we have a budget party, they have to gather quite a few documents in order to put this together. They also have access to a bill pay worksheet. This philosophy of mine is to organize your bills in a logical process so that you get out of the habit of trying to do too much too often, because that's what's happening. You're overwhelmed with organizing your finances, or with your finances being unorganized, I should say, because you don't have a structure. Okay, so you don't have a structure. And these forms, which is called a warm-up bag, it is over in the gym, because girl, your money still matters. And in there, these forms and a couple other things that are in there are going to help you get organized. And when you become organized, get rid of the clutter. When you get rid of the clutter, then you start to move differently. It's just like your house. You got that closet back there that you're stumbling over stuff, tripping over stuff. But once you get it cleaned out and all the clutter and it's organized, now you can move through the closet differently. Now you're not tripping over things. Now you know where everything is. Your finances are no different. Your finances are no different. So I want you to have a process in place. You want you to have a process in place so that your finances are organized. You have a process of when to pay, what to pay, how much to pay, and you make things easier for yourself. You make things easier for yourself. And then once you do that, you have the system in place. Now, every pay period, yeah. And some people ask, Nicole, why do I have to do this every pay period? Because you have to create the habit of the accountability until it's like second nature. Until it's like second nature. Okay. So once the finances are in order and organized, you have a process and system in place, then you review it every pay period. If no big changes have occurred, then you can review it monthly. Then I want you to stabilize for 3 months. And as long as nothing else has happened, then you can move to quarterly, but no more than that, no longer than that. Okay. And the reason is because you want to make sure that you're on track. If you get comfortable and you say 4 months or 5 months or 6 months, that's a decision that you make. But you have to build there. You can't start there. You have to build to get there. That's not where you start. Okay. So I want you to have a process in place, a system in place, review the systems consistently, and then once they are leveled out, then you can branch out to further to increase the time in between each review. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So that is our financial accountability systems review. I want to be sure that I invite you to come on out with me on Saturday morning. Listen, I've been doing homework. Okay, I've been doing homework. I'm gonna drop this link here for you guys. Um, Make sure it spreads out into the comment section. I want you guys to know that school is about to start or has recently started. And one of the biggest things that I have been trying to ensure is that I spread the word about a resource that has been great. It is called, see, I got all kinds of stuff laying over here for you guys. It is called the Ultimate Scholarship Book. You see my little tabs over here? I've been doing my homework. Um, the Ultimate Scholarship Book. Now, the reason that I'm sharing this resource with you is because it is a part of the entire presentation on Saturday, August 10th at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, where I am going to talk to you and your students about how to utilize this resource. Listen, I have been helping. Some people ask me, how long have you been doing this? And I always start with my formation date, which was in 2017. But in actuality, I have been helping women for over 10 years find their way in their money mindset. It didn't start off that way. It started out with looking at budgets. It started out with helping them get through the home ownership, achieving their dream of home ownership. That was the first community, achieving your dream of home ownership. And over the years, it has grown and expanded to budgeting and budgeting sources. Hey, sweetheart, how are you? Hey. So, it has grown into those things. And then it has stretched to money mindset. Because if your mindset is not changed, if your mindset does not shift, unfortunately, you will continue to go in the same circles and cycles that you've been going in. Okay. So, money mindset to me is very important before I even start looking at your numbers. I'll tell anybody, you can pass me your budget, you can pass me your income, your expenses, all of those things, and I can do your budget for you and slide it right on back. But if you have not changed your mindset, the numbers on that paper won't make a difference. They won't mean a thing. So mindset is the foundation of everything that we do. And through the homeownership process, what I found is women have been going back to school and we are getting student loans to cover our education. And 10, 15, 20, and some even 30 years later, still have student loan debt that is causing problems for them because they can't get rid of it. It has grown so much. The interest rates have been astronomical. The fees on top of the fees, on top of the interest, on top of the interest, on top of all of that. And what started out as a $25,000 loan is now $900 million. Okay, $900 million. And so the Biden administration came into the White House on the premise of student loan debt overhaul. And he's been fought left, right, up, down, top, bottom, and everywhere in between. Okay. But he has managed to do some great reforms, and there have been a lot of people. Let me give you some numbers. Okay. Let me give you some numbers. The student loan debt crisis is in the trillions of dollars. Okay, I like to have just 1 trillion sitting in my bank account. Okay, just one. See, I'm not greedy, but the student loan debt is trillions. And Black women, not women, Black women represent 2/3 of that balance. That's a lot of money that we have because we got bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, law degrees, doctorate degree, other degree. When some of us got 4, 5 of them, some of us got 6, 7, 9, 12, 15. We are professional students because we have to get the education just to be able to compete with our other counterparts in the industry. Unfair it is. But that's not what we're talking about today. That's a whole nother show all by itself. But when it comes to student loan debt, we are number one. And that's not where we want to be number one in. But during this overhaul, there have been, because we have such a large representation, we are now a large representation of those who have student loans that have been forgiven. Come on now. Yours truly, $159,812.93 wiped away. That covered 3 degrees. 3. Do you hear what I say? You hear what I say, anime? You hear what I say, anime? Okay, so 3 degrees obtained. The letters will always be mine. The student loan debt has been given on back. So from whence it came. Okay, so what I can tell you, I know for sure that this level of overhaul we will not see again, at least not in our lifetime. At least not in our lifetime. So guess what? I focus on 9th through 12th graders so that we can start setting them up for success. And this booklet, it's not a booklet, okay? This dictionary, that's what it is. This dictionary has billions of dollars in scholarships, grants, and prizes. Okay, scholarship, grants, and prizes. And so I do this master class once a year. And so it's coming up this Saturday, August 10th at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. I want you, and your student to make sure that you get in this class, okay? Because I'm going to show you, let me tell you what I know. Y'all busy. Y'all are super busy. Mom busy, dad busy, student busy, everybody busy. The biggest problem that I've known parents to have when I tell them about this book is taking the time to find the scholarships that are for their children. And because we don't have time, we don't take advantage of what this book offers. So I do some of the legwork for you. I tell you how to use it so that you're not stuck looking through the whole entire book. I tell you what to do to help your student starting in 9th grade. And surprisingly enough, the authors have been able to find some scholarships that are for students all the way down to 4th grade. Oh, I shared that on my Facebook page today. I done got so many messages like, okay, how? Come to the webinar masterclass this Saturday so I can tell you how. So that I can tell you how. This resource, if you use it properly, especially if your student is a freshman or if you got an 8th grader who's a rising freshman, you start in their freshman year. I'm not promising you hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not promising you any amount of money. But what I can tell you is the potential. The potential exists that you can stack up money starting in your child's 9th grade year. Now, let me be clear. For those of you who are in undergraduate already, those of you who are in graduate school, those of you who want to return to school, one of the scholarships I looked at today was specifically for people 50 and older who want to return to school. It's here. There are all sorts of categories, and I listed quite a few of them. There's things for rugby, there's water skiing, there is $1,000 scholarship to write an essay on how to extend the life of a car using car covers. Okay, there's cheerleading. There is a ton of stuff. There's stuff for people who are you are the child of someone in the military, various organizations. Oh my gosh, sororities and fraternities. And no, of course, you're in high school, you won't even be able to be a member. They have scholarships for you too. The number of scholarships, man, you know what? Let me see if I can get. All right. So the scholarships in this booklet are numbered. The value is in the billions, but the actual number of scholarships in here, because they're numbered, is 2,280. The last scholarship is numbered 2,280. So many scholarships are in this book. You see that? Okay. And so my assignment, I have been given an assignment. My aunt mama, she my aunt mama, she my mama aunt. She the one that when she say, Nicole, yes, ma'am, yes, what you want? There's no other thing to say but what you need. How you doing, but what you need. Okay. She has given me an assignment. She said, I need you to find BJ some scholarship money. I said, oh, really? What's BJ's major? And that was the only thing I was willing to ask. That was the only thing I was willing to ask. And so now I go, I have my own assignment for my little cousin to find him scholarship money for his graduate program. So I'm searching through this book like I got a kid that need money, because I do. I actually do. And so I'm making the time. And this is not a child I birthed, but this is a child I love. So it's crucial for him to have this information. So guess what? I'm going to make the time. As a parent, when my children need it, I made the time. And so let me tell you what I know. Some of these scholarships pay directly to the student. Some of them pay directly to the student. So you have the opportunity to buy the things that your child needs even before they get to college. So you can use it to cover supplies. You can use it to cover room deposits. Um, I set some of my daughter's money aside to cover her books. I'm going to talk to you during the master class on how to utilize other resources for books outside of the school bookstore. We're going to talk about dual enrollment. We're going to talk about all the things that's going to help set your child up so that even if student loans are an option, we use them wisely. We exercise our options wisely because it is to their benefit. We don't want them graduating college in debt. And I'm okay. I'm a sidetrack for just one moment. Let me tell you why the Biden administration had so much opposition to forgiving student loans. Let's talk about that for a minute. The reason that they had so much opposition is because Black women are 2/3 in debt. We represent 2/3 of trillions of dollars of student loan debt. And we are being hindered. Now, mind you, there are all sorts of other minorities, men, all y'all up in there, whole little melting pot. But when that student loan debt is wiped out, that makes us more financially stable. And now we are a bigger force. See, if they thought we were a force to be reckoned with that debt, imagine what we are without it. Because without that student loan debt, now we have more buying power for real estate, home ownership. We can start investing. We can start doing things to build wealth. And so the majority of the predominantly white schools, parents are paying for that tuition. Okay. Other schools and universities, they are taking out private loans in which student loan debt reformation does not, you can't have your student loans wiped out because they're private loans. Okay. So imagine that you've got 500 Black women, 500 others. Let's just say others. Okay. Same income. Okay. But credit scores are lower over here because the student loan debt is causing a problem because the debt to income ratio, when it's calculated, we don't have the luxury of coming from money as some of these other borrowers do. Now, you wipe out that student loan over here. Now you've leveled the playing field. How dare the administration do that? Okay, so that's what it's all about. My personal opinion. Do your own research, make your own determination. Okay, so I want to thank you guys for joining in. I am the Nicole Johnson, founder of Wealthy Women Lifestyle, where I teach women to define and achieve their goal of financial freedom. And I am talking to you about the Ultimate Scholarship book. It comes out every year. It is so many scholarships in here. Like the first 3 pages are of the general scholarships. There's no reason that every student shouldn't be applying. The authors of the book offer $1,000 scholarship to write an essay. I think it's 300 to 500 words. They give you a selection of 3 topics. I think the first 2, they change every year, but the third one is always a constant. Let me tell you what they are. Something that they pick, something somebody else picked. The third one is, if you don't like the first 2, pick one yourself. Pick one yourself. Pick a topic. Write an essay. You go to their website, you get to look at past winners and hear what they wrote about. If you want an idea, otherwise you pick from the other 2 topics. The reason that we are not using this book is because it takes a lot of time and research. It takes time. Every one of us has 1,440 minutes in the course of a 24-hour day. 1,440 minutes. Let me say it one last time. 1,440 minutes. You can't dedicate 60 to putting thousands of dollars worth of scholarships in your child's pocket. In your pocket. Let me tell you what I hear all the time. My child got a full ride. That is wonderful. That's wonderful. But I don't know any full ride that pay for that stuff that they want on the weekend, that pay for the car that they want, that pay for the insurance on the car. But when these scholarships pay directly to the student, they can use that money for whatever they need for college. Tell me why you can't take the time to research this book, to find money for your student and quit paying money out of your pocket, or setting them up to have so much debt fresh out of college. A little bit of research. Work hard, play hard, right? Research, benefits. Okay. So this Saturday at 9 a.m. Now, mind you, the rest of today is Monday. And I just have a few. I got these little tabs, right? Don't pay attention to this is something else in here. Let me take it on out because I don't have nothing to do with this. I have a notebook in which I've started writing down the numbers of the scholarships so that now I can put this portfolio list together for my cousin so that now I can say, okay, BJ, here are these, and these are the websites that you need to go to. And we start pulling the application process down so that you can start applying for scholarships. Now imagine starting that with your ninth grader. And for some of these, your fourth grader, your fifth grader, your middle schooler. I invite you to join me for the Scholarship Readiness Masterclass this Saturday because your girl did not come to play with you. I came to help you win. I came to help you and your student. And if you are the student, graduate school, undergraduate school, returning to school, it is here, and I'm going to talk about it all. I focus on 9th through 12th graders. I focus on 9th through 12th graders. But this resource, I got some checks out of here. Okay. I was looking for scholarships for my children. For my daughter, I got a check. Understand? I paid for some books. So this is not just for high schoolers. That's who I primarily focus on. But in my research for the high schoolers, because it tells you, thank you, it tells you eligible for high schoolers, graduate students, undergraduate students, female students, male students, entrepreneurs, trade schoolers, artists. There's some where it is absolutely just based on the strength of the application, the submission that is done. That car cover scholarship, $1,000 scholarship for an essay on extending the life of a car using car covers. Anybody could write that. I know 5 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can call up and say, hey, you still work on cars? Can you, your nephew, your niece, your cousin, your son, your daughter, they ready to go to school, go to college? Help them write this essay. Put that essay package together for them. Simple. There's one on making good decisions and not texting and driving. They want you to create a short video. High schoolers, graduate students, undergraduate students. Come on, people. I hope to see you Saturday. I hope to see you Saturday. I'm going to drop that link for you guys one last time. I hope to see you Saturday. I really hope to see you Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Once you register, you get all the information because I even include a questionnaire because I want to know specifically about your child so that that experience during the class on Saturday is personalized. I already have students. Let's see, I have a graduate student. I have some high schoolers. I have students who are undecided. I have students who are studying biology, money management. There's a financial literacy scholarship. Oh, you know, I about fainted when I saw that one. What are we not doing? How is this not important? Okay, I've been told that I needed to do this more than once a year. Let's start with the first time. Let's start with August because this is vital to our community reducing debt. And this is why it's important to me to do this and put this information out here, because you can go to Amazon and it's about 50 other books look just like this with titles, scholarship books, scholarship books, scholarship, scholarship, scholarship. You don't know which one has good resources in it. You don't know which one is actually, they're actually viable resources. But I'm here to tell you that this one. Now, feel free to go out there and get it yourself and look through it yourself. Hey, I gave you the resource. But if you don't want to do this journey alone, if you don't want to go on this project alone, if you want some guidance, you're going to get a workbook that you can use during the event. That workbook is going to be a guide for you after the event, and you'll still have the ability to reach out and ask questions if you need help. If you can't stay the whole time, the replay will be sent to you. What more do you want? Other than somebody to do it for you, we can arrange that too. I believe in full services. So listen, as always, I love spending some time with you guys. This podcast, this platform, which is broadcasting live through Brownstone Worldwide, Cityscape Radio. Shout out to all of you out there that are listening, those of you that are actually viewing and tuning in on the YouTube channel, those of you over on the Facebook page, and also on the LinkedIn platform. I am so excited to be here with you guys to share this information. I want to recap and make sure you understand that you have to have financial accountability systems in place. Believe it or not, forms forms are your friend. Forms are your friend, okay? Using forms to get you started and in the habit of tracking your money, labeling your money, knowing where every dollar goes is your first step to financial freedom, period. If you don't know where your money is going, if you don't know how much is coming in, if you don't know what's going out, you don't reach financial freedom. Now, the scholarship readiness webinar is going to allow you to set your children up for success. Your child, your niece, your nephew, your next door neighbor, the kids that you mentor. It's going to allow you to set them up for success. I'm not ever going to tell you don't use student loans. I'm going to say make sure that they have enough information to use them wisely. Financial aid, financial aid has been reduced so much over the years. It's not even making a dent in the tuition anymore. It's not, gone are the good old days. Let me say that. Gone are the good old days. Just like today's music can't hold a candle to the 90s, the music from the 80s and the 90s. Ooh, child, don't get me started. Come on. You know that does not happen. That today's music cannot compare to that. Today's financial assistance does not compare to what it was in the 90s. And a lot of us use full financial aid to pay for college. Okay. Some of us used it, and some of us use the student loans. I'm not saying don't use them. I'm going to talk to you about some things that I learned just by asking questions. I was like, oh, wait a minute, that you can do that? You can do that? You can do that. Oh, okay. So I got a ton of things to share with you, not only from my personal time in college as a graduate student, as an undergraduate student, as a law student, but also as a parent of a child who was in college and I sat hours in the financial aid office asking all kind of questions. She's like, ma'am, I got another appointment. Don't worry about them. They better go see somebody else, because as long as I'm sitting in this chair, this is my appointment. And I'm going to ask all these questions, because what I don't want to do is have to come back and be them out there while you servicing somebody else. So I'm finna to get it all in. Yes, ma'am, I am. You need to get some lunch, you can do that. Bring me something too. That lady thought I had lost my rocker. I said, it's just the cancer in me. I'm overstimulated, and I'm quite extra, but I ain't leaving till I have all the answers. All the answers. I need to know about those private fellowships. I need to know. Yeah, them too. Okay, so, but here's the thing, what I've learned, what I've used, what has been a benefit for me and mine. I'm about to spend a couple of hours with you on Saturday, August 10th at 9 a.m. Central Time and tell you exactly what I learned. I'm going to share with you what I learned. I'm going to tell you what you should ask. I'm going to tell you where you should look. I'm going to tell you how to use this book, how to get these checks rolling in to your children, because it's scholarship money out here, billions of dollars worth. And I think your kids are worth it. If you are a returning student, I think you're worth it. This level of student loan overhaul won't be seen again, at least not while we're alive. It may be another 140 years before it may happen again, and it may not ever happen again. So what we need to do is ensure that history does not repeat itself for our children and our grandchildren and our great grandchildren. Okay? So listen, I hope you got some good information tonight. I hope you realize that financial accountability systems are important, and that instead of starting off with an electronic process when you are new, you need to start with just plain pencil and paper. I do want you to join us in the Facebook community. I share a lot of information over there. If you think what you got here was a lot, think about what I do in my private community, where I got no holds barred over there, honey. Ain't nobody telling me what to do but me. Nobody telling me what to do but me. Okay. And on top of that, on Saturday for the podcast, okay, if you're not watching me on YouTube, you can go on over to YouTube and subscribe. You'll get notifications when we drop content over there, when we upload new videos. You're going to find our Monday motivational message, and then there's usually a midday message with a lesson in it. And then we come here tonight to review your assignment homework. You know why? Because education is critical to your success. Okay, it is critical to your success, and I am extremely happy to always be able to ensure that I am giving you the best information that I have available. So I thank you guys for being here with me on this Monday Money Mindset, so that you can learn about financial accountability systems, as well as the scholarship readiness masterclass on this Saturday. And so I hope that you guys have a wonderful week, and be sure to follow, like, and subscribe. I am the Nicole Johnson, founder of Wealthy Women Lifestyle, where I teach women to define and achieve their goal of financial freedom so that they can begin to live life on their own terms. Have a great week.